Okay, hey everybody, this is Robert from V100. Today we got Richie Faulkner with us, who's getting ready for the big show in Wichita coming up November 12th with Judas Priest. And Richie, we'll start this off with we got to go with an origin question because how you got into the band is kind of a funny story.
It's a bit of a cliche, when someone joins a band like that, you think that when you get the call from the management,
Uh,
you think someone's playing a joke on you. But it's a cliche for a reason. You always aspire to be as good as your heroes, but you never think you're going to get that call. But when you realize that that call is real, it's pretty shocking. And I actually got a couple of emails as well, which I deleted. I thought they were just, I didn't even open the emails. I thought they were blanket emails from a metal fans like fanzine or something. I
mm.
just deleted them. They were from someone I didn't know about Judas Priest, and I just deleted them. Luckily, fortunately for me, they were persistent, and they called me and they explained the situation, and I'm here talking to you today, more than 10 years later. But yeah, it was I thought it was someone playing a joke, but it wasn't. And thank goodness for that.
Yeah, that had to be a very surreal time. And even after you found out it wasn't a joke, did that really just happen? I mean, it's got to be one of those things.
Exactly. Yeah. It is weird. I mean, just to be considered at that time for that position, um, I knew, how much that meant to so many people around the world just to be considered for that. So it becomes very real very quickly and very serious. And then to get the gig, it was just phenomenal. It changed my life. So
Oh yeah, and so now it's 50 years, but at that time it was about 40 years of music you've got to learn. What's your favorite song to play?
that's such a difficult one. It changes every day. It changes from week to week, day to day. At the moment, I'm going to say it's the Sentinel from the Defenders of the Faith album.
Why is that?
It's consistently, it changes all the time, but it's consistently my favorite. When people ask me, that one comes up the most. We've played it on this run in North America and Europe, and it's a great reaction from the fans. It's a great guitar workout. It's some great lead dueling from KK and Glenn, and it's just a great classic Priest track from the mid '80s, and I just love it.
A few years ago, Epiphone released your own signature Flying V. And now, if I buy this, does it make me a better player?
It makes you look cooler.
I need all the help I can get there.
Well, no, as long as you're playing a Flying V, you look cool. You know what I mean? That's what I learned from people like KK Downing and Michael Schenker and Randy Rhoads. But but yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. I still play them on stage. I mean, how can you not? It's Judas Priest. You got to play a V. You
Uh-huh.
know. Uh,
And would Hendrix have anything to do with you choosing the Flying V?
yeah, partly. I mean, it was Hendrix. It was again KK. It was Michael Schenker, Randy Rhoads, James Hetfield. Um, it was. I think the first time I ever saw a Flying V was on a Shalimar 7-inch single, which is nothing to do with heavy metal. It was just it was on the front of a single, um, but it was just the impact of the Flying V. I think still today is just such a big impact. It's such a. I mean, today it's a bit more mainstream, the Flying V, but I think back when I first saw it, it was such an unconventional shape,
Mhm.
such a striking thing to see. And also, when people play them, like Hendrix, and Hendrix's one, when I saw it, it was all, painted. He'd painted it up a certain way. And he had one at the Isle of Wight Festival. It was a black and white one. It was such a beautiful thing, such a striking thing. And they sound fantastic. And it's not only the way the thing sounds, but the way the thing looks. It's just an incredible instrument. And I love the way it feels. And as I said, the way it sounds. And it's hopefully I'm the next in line of the generations of guitar players that play Flying V's, and hopefully can take that Flying V flag into the next generation of Flying V players.
There you go. Now I saw where Hendrix was a huge influence on you. Not surprising. Let's make a triple threat here. Let's say now this will be hypothetical, of course, because a lot of this isn't possible, sadly. But you're going to play on a song. It's you, Hendrix, and now you get to pick one. Brian May, David Gilmour, Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, or Kirk Hammett. Which one do you pick?
Oh man, can't I just sit out and pick two of those instead? If you like, I'd prefer to watch that. I mean, it depends what song it is as well. If it's if it's Hendrix, dude, can't I sit out and just have Gilmour? I don't know, man. These are some hard questions. This is frustrating.
Well, let's put it this. Okay, let's say it's you, Hendrix, and let's just pick one. We'll say it's Kirk Hammett from Metallica, and you're going to cover a Metallica song. Which one is it?
Master of Puppets.
It was a little over a year ago. You had to think this wasn't happening, and I'm surprised you're not wearing a cape right now. I mean, who's on stage and has their heart come apart?
I mean, yeah, it was a pretty it was a scary time. It was one of those things, life happens, and fortunately, I'm still here talking to you, and we're on tour, and my support system has been fantastic, both at home and obviously in the hospitals. The surgeons and the doctors and nurses have been fantastic. It was one of those things, it happened, and fortunately, there was a aligning of events. We had a short set that night. Instead of the hour 45 that we were normally doing, it was only an hour. Funny enough, Metallica were playing after us, so we had to cut our set short that night. It happened on the last song, so if it was our normal set, I would have carried on and probably would have gone down and probably wouldn't have got up again. The hospital was 3 miles away, and it was one of the best heart hospitals in the country. It was a lot of things like that happened that night. That if it had to go down that night, there was a lot of things that were fortunate about it going down where it did and how it did. So incredibly fortunate, and just happy to be on tour and still able to talk to you today.
Yeah, that's just one of the weirdest, wackiest stories I've ever heard. Of course, and I didn't live it, but when I heard about it, I'm like, I didn't even know that's possible. I mean, that's just insane. Now, let's see. Let's look at influencing bands. You've got which one would you say? We're going to take Priest out of it. Which would you say is the most influenced? I know you've been mentioned like Deep Purple, a Sabbath, Thin Lizzy, Iron Maiden, UFO. We hit on Metallica early, Rainbow. If you had to put one at the top, what is it?
I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan. Always have been. I think there was one time when all I listened to was Metallica, Iron Maiden, and Pantera. I think I was maybe 6 months when all I listened to I was very blinkered. So out of all of those, I would have to put Maiden at the top. Maiden? If we're taking Priest out of the equation.
Yeah, I think for this we will. And do we not have to put in Dawkins or Lynch Mob?
No,
we do not.
I know why you're asking.
Today we're hanging out with Richie Faulkner, Judas Priest. They're playing Hartman Arena in Wichita. The show coming up November 12th. And let's see. This show runs through, I think, November. I think you guys are on tour about till the end of November. After that, what's up for Judas Priest after that?
Well, we're in the States, as you rightly said. We're until the end of November, and then we hit South America for a few weeks, which takes us into, I think, the 19th, the 18th, 19th of December. We're doing some festivals down there and our own shows with the reunited Pantera. whatever anyone wants to call that. I know the internet is debating on what they're choosing to call it these days, but so it's going to be with Pantera, a few other bands down there. That takes us into Christmas, and then next year we've still got the rescheduled Ozzy Osbourne tour.
Okay.
In May, and we're going to try and get this record finished that we've been recording over the last few months. So yeah, we're going to try and get the record finished and delivered, and then the Aussie thing, and then we'll see what happens after that. Maybe we can get some a date on when we can release the record, but we'll see what happens. That's what we've got planned at the moment, and then we'll see if we can get anything else in. We're focusing on this tour at the moment, and then we'll see what happens for 23, 24.
Yeah. Well, we invite everyone to go on out and see you at Wichita Hartman Arena. And last year, you guys put out. I'll let you go on this question. You put out the concert's called the tour. I'm sorry, is called 50 Heavy Metal Years, I believe. And
that's correct.
Okay, and then last year you put out 50 Heavy Metal Years of music. 50 Heavy Metal Years of music, and it was a box set.
Correct.
And it was a 42 CD box set. You couldn't find any more music to put out?
Yeah, I'm still listening to it. I haven't got through it yet. It's I've been listening to it for 2 years, and I still haven't finished it. No, it's a lot on there, and it's a big box. There's a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, was that last year? It's funny how the time has gone these last few years. It's a weird kind of time warp, and I've kind of lost track of the way time has been. But yeah, that was the whole box set. So yeah, if you haven't got that, check that out. It's a celebration of Priest music over the last 50 years, and if you're a Priest fan, it's really a celebration and a documentation of not only Priest music really, but like, because they were the creators, they were jointly responsible for creating heavy metal. It's kind of like a historical moment, really. It's Judas Priest, but it's kind of like a historical footnote in the creation of heavy metal, really. All that Priest music is kind of like a historical footnote in the creation of heavy metal. So it's a document, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't look at it that way. It makes sense. I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of music. So we're gonna wrap up now then, and the last song we'll pick, we just mentioned you got a 42 CD box set. You can play one song out of it. Which is it?
I'm going to say Victim of Changes. Because I know I mentioned Sentinel earlier on, and that's my my go-to favorite Priest track. But my ultimate favorite Priest track of all time, bar none, is Victim of Changes. If aliens came down from outer space and asked me, what is heavy metal? What is Judas Priest? What does this mean? I would give them Victim of Changes. It contains everything that they need to know about heavy metal and Judas Priest. Listen to that, and you'll know exactly what heavy metal means and what Judas Priest is. So listen to Victim of Changes.
Excellent. Well, we'll do just that. And thanks very much for joining us today. Invite everyone to see you in Wichita. Have a good one. And again, thanks again.
Been a pleasure. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.